California Center for the Arts in 2010 invited me to create interactive installations. I thought I would focus on the ethnicities of California, the Arabic or Indo-European, the large Chinese populations, and the Mexican. The ill-defined term multiculturalism and its mission has been derided by politicians in the United States and Europe. There are two anxieties inherent in multiculturalism's mission, two sides of the same coin. One is that minority cultures may feel entrapped within the parameters of what their cultural definitions are. They may feel like they were being ghettoized. Whereas majority cultures fear of dilution of their culture, but almost more importantly, they feel left out. I created a design that morphed several cultures. The overall shape and golden color harken the pyramids of the Aztecs and Mayans. The pattern creates 5-pointed stars out of squares, which was a synthesized design culled from Chinese, Byzantine, and Middle Eastern patterns. Poet Diane Gage, who is a local poet in San Diego, whose work I absolutely love, to help me out with this, to help come up with words for the pattern template that I had designed. Poets Fadi Judah and Ken Chen also contributed in translating certain words into Arabic and Chinese, and then to round out our 350 to 400 word bank.
I did some research and found 3 lines from 3 different poetic traditions. The first one is called "Fate Does Not Understand Your Speech," from a poem called "Autumn Leaves" by a Syrian-American poet of the last century. The second line was from Li Bo, who was one of the most famous poets of the Tang Dynasty, and it gives particulars: yellow clouds beside the wall, crows near the tower. What happens when you speak a particular language and you encounter someone who speaks another language and you hear that language? You just hear sounds and you try to make sense of them. So you relate them to words you already know, or you just be in the flood of those strange sounds, and it sounds a little musical, you hear rhythms. So in order to choose the words, I made rhymes. I chose rhymes from "What shall we sing?" What, hut, tut, don't look like the letters we're used to. And that happens to be true of Chinese, Arabic, and Nahuatl. So people register those, or we each do as we encounter them, as pattern.
This project turned out to be a kind of sociological study, inadvertently so. The participants were really engaged, regardless of what their ethnicities were. People wrote down stories in a journal, and we were able to record many of them and see what the similarities were. And it broke through that barrier, that fear, that anxiety of being left out or being entrapped. Tec Sayings is a door. It goes in and goes out. You can leave, you can enjoy it, you can come back, record your stories, rearrange words. The pattern, the color, the size, the physical engagement with the piece extracted these stories out of people.